good.
All right, so I was going through our text messages
Yep.
from like the first time I met you,
Right.
and I had you send me a list of 10 schools that you
Okay.
liked. And it was a lot of high academic schools. And then you sent me a separate text and you said, also, like, I want to go to MIT,
Right.
but it's probably really unrealistic. And now we're going to MIT.
Right.
And that had me super fired up last night. I was going through it and I was like, dude, it's crazy. Those are the stories that fire me up.
Right.
So first off, congratulations.
Yes.
Big
Thank
time.
you.
And I know we put it on the Instagram reel, 4% acceptance rate.
Of course.
How you feeling about all of it right now?
It's definitely getting more real now. It's kind of the time in summer when you're starting to get. I just got my dorm assignment, roommate and stuff. So
So you know who you're dorming with?
yeah. It's his name's Malachi Wobrock. Shout out Malachi. It's from like SoCal, almost like Los Angeles area. So it's
Okay.
really cool, like all the way out there. I was originally gonna go random, but I mean, still gonna be kind of mainly a random roommate. But I mean, at least we
Yeah.
have same schedule. We're gonna be like getting up same time if we have morning
Big
lifts,
time,
that kind of
man.
stuff. But
It's big
for sure.
time. And the story they did on the news,
Right.
really cool.
Yeah.
And we talk about it all the time. We don't think there's a more deserving person here because we'll get into it, but not just how hard you've worked here and in the gym, but in the classroom.
Sure.
And that stems into the first kind of topic I want to talk
Sure.
about.
Okay.
When did you know you were the smart kid? At what
Um,
age were you like, hey, I'm like the grade I'm in and the classes I'm taking, this is kind of easy.
Right. I'd say honestly kind of young. I don't know. Well, I always probably thought I was smarter than I was. But I mean, being confident is always good.
Yeah.
But no, I mean, I've never been like the smartest. I still have some friends that are like ridiculous at how like they just kind of know stuff off the top of their head, and I've never really been like that. But at the same time, I've always been able to work through things pretty like
Yeah.
easily. And I don't know, it's just like the past couple years when like I'm taking higher up math classes, I've had to work a little bit harder at it. But I mean, for the most part,
Is that when that started? Was in high school? Is that when you started taking AP class?
So
Is that an option you can do in middle school? I don't even know. Like, can you be in eighth grade and take that stuff, or how does that work?
Ninth grade, freshman year is the first year you can take
Okay.
AP.
Gotcha.
And so the first one I took was like AP Human Geography, which is actually one of my favorite classes. But no, so you just kind of start basically like, as you go on through the years, they add a couple more APs you can take.
And you took AP classes all through high school,
Yeah.
right?
So that's why freshman year I only took AP Human Geography. Sophomore year I took seminar, which is like basic kind of research, and
Okay.
And pre-calculus, and then junior year I took like a whole bunch. And
So
senior year,
how
a
many
couple more.
credits, college credits, do you have now going into college?
So MIT they only accept fives for credit, and I have like probably half of
Okay.
mine are fives, half
Okay.
are like fours, 1, 3. But basically like five's the highest you can get, and then
Okay.
it goes down from there. But I'm gonna have probably, I would say 6 classes that I'll get at least like elective credit for.
Okay.
And calculus is the only one they accept for like a real credit.
So you've got smart young Sawyer Carlisle.
Okay.
Were you always athletic, Sawyer Carlisle, or did that blossom a little bit later?
Yeah. Not really.
Not really, as in you weren't athletic.
Correct. Sorry. Yeah.
Okay.
I don't think I was like the most athletic, and I still don't think I'm like most naturally athletic. But I'd say a huge thing was kind of getting into Beechwood in high school. Well, I guess it was 7th grade. We're allowed to try for the freshman team. That's what I was doing with Brooks Becker and Logan Wormuth. We were all playing freshmen and 7th graders, and
Those are all guys going on.
yeah, exactly. And that's why I think that development's important early. But one of the biggest things we did then was getting in the weight room in 7th grade. And it's like at that age, it's just getting in the weight room, I think, and adding like a little bit of muscle if you can every year, because I think that's what's helped me like the most. And like, I mean, there's been some summers or falls, whatever, where like I'm not even the most focused on at that younger age, not even the most focused on like skill development, like pitching or hitting. It's just like getting in the weight room, adding like some strength, because I think that like that adds to like every part of your game compared to where if you're just working on like defense or hitting or something, that's only adding to that one specific skill.
Right.
So I think like at the young age that kind of helps develop everything super quick.
Right.
And so that's probably what's helped me the most, just like
Yeah, and I think you're kind of hitting the nail on the head with the skill set training, and we try to preach it here. And you're a good example of, even from the time I met you to now, you look like you ate the old version of yourself. You know what I mean? Like you're so much bigger than you were before, and it's obviously translated. And all of those skills in the gym, it translates to whatever, not even just baseball, like whatever position you're going to play. So as far as like your parents with athletics in school, did they ever want you prioritizing one over the other, or did they kind of let you, Sawyer, go figure it out, do your thing?
Right.
What were their thoughts on, like, hey, I want to play college baseball?
Right. No, I mean, I'd say they've been by my side the whole time, and it was just whatever you want to do, you can do it, and we'll help you. But I mean, of course, for my parents, it's always schools first, and take care of that, and then you can go and work on the other stuff. But I mean, of course, my dad's always demanded straight A's, and that's what I get.
So have you always had straight A's?
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
elementary school, middle school,
Yeah. And like I'm not really sure. Like I don't know. When I was younger, I wasn't like a bad kid, but I just would not like shut up in class, that kind of stuff. Always been pretty talkative.
Who do you get that from? Is that mom or dad?
Probably my dad.
Yeah, your dad.
Yeah, we're both pretty like sarcastic, talking a lot.
You're extremely sarcastic.
Yeah.
With like everybody here too, and we love it.
Yeah. I love it. And so I love talking crap to some guys, Brand over there. But yeah, it makes everybody better when you're.
Brand, keep it down, bro.
Being noisy.
But anyways.
But yeah, no, I say I'd say keeping it light is always a good way. I like staying relaxed and taking it pretty easy. So no, I think. With like the college baseball you're saying, school's always been first and making sure that like I'm staying like straight A in there, and of course like taking that past the classroom, but then after I take care of that school stuff, they want to help me go as far as I want to in baseball, and that's what it was probably 2 or 3 years ago. By the time it's like guys are starting to look at like college development or camps and that kind of stuff.
Yeah,
it was I talk with my parents and it's like, well, we had to figure out how serious I wanted to be about it. And I was like, of course, I want to play college baseball.
And was it always baseball, or did you ever play football? Did you play basketball?
Yeah, so the sports I played very young was baseball, basketball, and soccer. And my dad always tells the story that I was, I matured like physically pretty quick when I was like really young, compared to some other guys. And so it's like I was just the biggest one on the soccer field, and so I had to run a little bit faster. And my dad thought I was gonna be the next Messi. I was like, oh my God,
did you like soccer?
Not really, honestly. Like I want to use my hands.
Yeah, that's fair.
Because it's like I get to. I like being like the goalie. I mean, and at some point, all the kids caught up to me. They were a lot faster than me. So no, I dropped soccer pretty early, and then I played basketball up to 7th grade.
Okay.
And then when I came to Beechwood, I just kind of wanted to focus on baseball.
So when did you realize that college baseball was something that you could actually like, hey, I can do this?
Right. I'd say is kind of recent, honestly. Because I'd always been like, well, so I'm just turned 18, May 20th, about a month ago, and so I've always been like playing up with my grade and not my age.
Yeah.
And so kind of with that, and at a younger age, I've been kind of like towards the middle of the pack, like development wise.
Yeah.
And so I kind of never, well, not never, but it took a while to kind of realize that I was still kind of up on the upper part of my age.
Yeah.
And so it was kind of recently that I realized like, wow, kind of developing with those older guys.
Yeah.
It's kind of put me ahead of, my own age and stuff. So I think kind of the past 2 years, it's kind of when I realized that like, oh wow, college is a real thing that I can do.
And I remember when I met you for the first time, it was when Beechwood came in for a winter practice.
Right.
And I saw you throwing off the mound, and I saw your frame, and everybody told me how good of a kid you were. And I talked to you, and I was like, yo, how serious are you about this? And then shortly after you started. And then when you started here, it was impressive because it seemed like you were in here all the time. Every single time you came in here too, you just seemed dialed. One thing we see with kids in here, dude, is if they had a bad day, a lot of times they'll carry that into here.
Right.
That doesn't seem like it ever phased you. It doesn't seem like, whatever happened that day, you didn't bring it in here. You just got your work in and then you got out.
Yeah. No.
So how do you balance And obviously, you're such a high performing student and also a high performing athlete. How do you balance that?
I'd say kind of like separating your time throughout the day. So I mean, like right before, I'd come in here this past school year, I'd either have I dual credit like calculus or differential equations class at NKU, which is like very hard, and I have a test one day coming here, or like internship. And so it's like very like.
Are you doing an internship right now?
No, I
Okay.
was this past year. It ended like at the end of the school year.
Where did you intern at?
It was Amarize's here in Florence, somewhere close. It was on
Okay.
Industrial Road. But no, I was getting to do some kind of like industrial engineering stuff. But no, it was really cool. I love that. But I was just gonna say, I think a big part in being able to balance between like whatever kind of parts of your life is kind of separating them and making coming in here my free time and my kind of time to have fun and enjoy just kind of playing a game. And so I think being able to do that helped me stay kind of locked in here and enjoying like my time in here.
Yeah,
sure.
I think you saying that at the end of the day you're playing a game. Like we're throwing a ball. Sometimes people associate this game with their personality so much, and when they have a bad day in baseball, it ruins the rest of their week or their year or whatever it is. So having that approach and that balance is big time.
Yeah, I think like past honestly like decade or whatever it's been, just like how serious baseball has gotten for like such a young age, because you're gonna have to be like to stay up to keep up with.
Everybody's getting so good.
Exactly.
Now.
Yeah, everybody's getting.
And
so
development
good.
is starting earlier and earlier. And you've seen all the stuff we have here with like TrackMan and or whatever, like all the tech and stuff. It's easy to manipulate your body to get somebody to throw hard or to fix a pitch, and that kind of stems into the next part here is your journey in here. If you look at video from the first time you started here, nothing looked explosive. It looked forced. It looked very mechanical. And then we started that off-season throwing program where we started throwing on your knees, and that seemed like it changed everything. And to see that climb from like low mid 80s to what just in the high school playoffs up to 92. You were freaking pumping
for sure.
That story is it's wild.
Oh yeah.
And I think I'll let you speak on it. But before we get into it too much is I think if you're an athlete and you're listening to this, the daily stack of it's never one day and everything clicks. It's always just one day stacks into 100 days and then it clicks. That's something that you did really, really good.
For sure.
You never asked that many questions as far as like, well, what velo am I supposed to be at today? Is it a problem that I didn't hit 90 today? Why is my velo down today? You were always just trusting the process and just moving forward. And I think the stuff that you do like in your day-to-day with school, that almost transitions into that. It's just you're waking up, you're doing what you know you're supposed to need to do, and then everything else will figure itself out. People need to get better at that, and you're a very good example of that. So that being said, the big velo jump that you had, did you think throwing 92 was realistic? Did you think you were ever going to throw that hard?
No, I don't think so. And I was gonna say, I mean, I've been to, this is kind of my I think the plays I'm comfortable with now, but I mean before this I've been with OPSA, PPL, even like some private guys, and so it was just like
I've been around the block.
Like, you're right. You're coming in around the block, and so coming in here like I had an idea of what like mechanics were supposed to look like, and so that's like what you were saying. I've kind of been like very mechanical and not like not very like raw in the way like I was moving. And so like I think at a certain point that can kind of like hurt me when I'm like I kind of know what I'm trying to do, and so I'm like I'm very.
I could see your brain turning into a pitch. And do you remember right before the high school season started, I texted you and I was like kind of annoyed because I thought you were being too mechanical. I was like, dude, you need to stop. Just throw and go get batters out. That's what we tried to do with you over the winter. It's like the tools were already there, but you were trying to like methodically think through all the tools.
Of course.
When you just fully committed to it, that's when good things started to happen with you. And to see you go on that run, just an insane high school season for you this year, not just pitching too, but also at the plate. Obviously I'm a little pitching biased. But for you to throw one inning your junior year, 2 innings, how many innings did you throw your junior year?
1.2, and
1.2
they were not
innings.
a good 1.2 innings.
And when we started, I remember when that season ended and we started talking about the following year, I was like, dude, you are going to throw hard. You're going to be nasty. And I remember you kind of looked at me like,
Yeah.
right, bro. Like,
Right.
whatever. You're trying to
Yeah.
sell
I
me
didn't
on
really
this.
believe it, and I don't know.
To go from that to how many innings did you throw this year?
It was like 45,
Yeah, you threw
somewhere in the
45
40s.
innings
Yeah.
with what was your ERA?
I don't
It
know.
was good. It
Yeah.
was
Yeah.
good.
Yeah.
It was
Yeah. It was
low.
pretty good.
I know it was low, and then to also bat like would you bat like
Yeah.
420 or something?
Like 420, 430, something like that.
How did you handle the pitching training and then also the hitting training? Because there's a lot of people who can't do that.
Right. I would say like the biggest thing is kind of like mental almost because like I had to be like you have to think a little bit different in both
Yeah.
because for me like at the on the mound, right? I had to like be super like laid back and super just like you said, just kind of letting my mechanic like trusting my mechanics. And
Mhm.
like while that was true at the most part for the plate, I kind of had to stay locked in into like an approach and just a couple like small kind of swing thoughts. But like kind of making sure that I was keeping those mental approaches locked in on both sides like through the year. That was probably the toughest part. But
And yeah, it's two different approaches.
right.
Like when you're hitting, you have to be reactive. Obviously you have a plan, but you at the end of the day you don't know what's coming.
Right.
When you're pitching, you're the one dealing, you're the one in control of the game.
Absolutely.
I couldn't do both. I was never good at hitting. I kind of stopped when I started seeing like curveballs because I felt like well, I have no idea what's coming. How am I supposed to
Right.
know? So for you to kind of manage both of those is impressive.
Right.
Did you ever feel like you having more knowledge on the mound affected your hitting?
Oh, definitely.
Do you feel like this helped?
For sure. And I mean, I think like knowing, I don't know, kind of how pitches move and like obviously knowing a lot of the guys that I play with for a long time, but knowing how like they pitch and kind of relating that to my own kind of pitching, that helps a lot because like I can kind of think at the plate, like, okay, well, I mean, if I'm 0-2, what am I going here? Obviously, it's some off speed. Like, I'm not going to give him another one like in the zone there.
Yeah.
And so I think just kind of having my own little perspective like from the mound helps a lot there, and definitely like it gives me a little bit of advantage I think, but
Yeah. And everything you did at Beechwood over the last 4 years.
right.
For people who don't know, if you're in Kentucky, when you're in, is it seventh grade?
Seventh
Once
grade,
you're in
yeah. So
seventh
I've
grade,
been
you can play
Beach's
high school
6 year,
baseball.
yeah.
Did you make the team as a seventh grader? So did
Yes.
you play? Was that like freshman, JV? Like
Yeah, it's
what did you
freshman.
do?
So, seventh and eighth grade, I was freshman as Coach Norton was coaching us. But that's to say, it was me, Brooks Becker, and Logan Wormuth played those years. And then freshman year, I got moved up to JV for the whole year. But then I also went and pitched on varsity a little bit. And that's when like I was all right pitching. Like I threw pretty hard for like a freshman. I was throwing like 80, maybe 81, something like that.
Hmm.
But again, control was like a huge issue, and it had been for a while. But I think it was because like I was so deep into those mechanics, I wasn't even thinking about where I was
It's
throwing
like you were
at.
trying to force
Yeah,
the
exactly.
result
Right.
instead of just trusting
Yeah, I
everything
wasn't being
and
like
letting it take.
adaptive, not like the game and all. And now like I feel like I have a really different perspective
Yeah.
how like I'm handling like the game. It's like at this point, I mean, like I said, I've been doing like some type of pitching training for 5 years now. And so kind of when I get into the game, I can just be thinking like I'm gonna go and attack these guys and
Yeah.
like how and be thinking about how I'm going to do that.
Yeah.
It is makes it a lot easier.
Yeah.
But I think just having like the different perspective, and I think like playing for 6 years of high school baseball against the same kind of with the same kind of coaching,
Hmm.
but also like playing against the same kind of like teams
Yeah.
helps so much. Like being
And you've
able
been
to
around a lot of guys, to be honest, who were better than you, and you need that.
right,
Um, Anytime a parent or an athlete asks me, "Hey, should I go play for this team or this team?" Just make sure you're not the best one on the team. You always need something to chase because as soon as you feel like the best, that's when you get comfortable, and when you get comfortable, that's a dangerous place to be.
right.
So you're as far as your recruiting, we know you're going to MIT, but how many other coaches and schools did you talk to? Did you go on a lot of visits? Was there ever any other schools, and you can say them or you don't have to say them, where you were
Right.
um, like this is it. I think I want to go here. And this is before we thought MIT was even possible.
Right.
What was that experience
So I
like?
mean, the whole time I would say like I'll give you a little bit of my approach, kind of going into it. So I mean, I like through the whole process, I always wanted to be electrical or mechanical engineer. And so like I started off my search just kind of looking at those schools,
Okay.
specifically like good engineering programs, regardless of if it was baseball or not.
And those are already pretty niche.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
so and you know, there's always it's tough to balance
Right.
engineering and baseball at the
And
same time.
yeah,
So it's
yeah.
again, we go back to the whole impressive like discipline that you've developed. I don't
Right.
think it's going to be that hard for you because you've already built that
I hope
framework.
not. Yeah, yeah.
But sorry, keep
No, no,
going with
it's all
your
right.
career story.
So yeah, so I started off with just looking at kind of like mainly engineering schools, but a couple like I'm a little bit interested in like finance as well. But anyway, so I had all those schools kind of sectioned off, and then I also split that into like these schools that also have like some D3, D2 baseball, and then I kind of went from there. So it's like, so yeah, I'll give some examples like Rose Holman. I have a friend Matt Furtado. He's
Yep.
yeah going
Shout
to
out Matt
Rose.
Furtado.
What?
Shout out Matt
Yeah,
Furtado
shout out Matt.
and Josh Furtado,
Yeah, yeah,
who
absolutely.
took the AD job at Ryle.
Yeah, I saw
Yeah,
it.
that's
That's
good for him.
exciting. But yeah,
So Rose Holman.
yeah, Rose Holman. It's like a great undergraduate engineering school. And so that's another place I was looking. Also, Illinois Tech.
I
And
remember that conversation.
yeah, absolutely. So
Yeah.
yeah, so it's just like schools with good engineering programs and also had some like good baseball. And so I was looking through that, and again, that's of course MIT's on like kind of the top of that list for like academics, but also have like some pretty good
Yeah.
baseball, and so that's what I just kind of wanted to reach out to mostly all those schools.
Yeah.
Because
And did you do that? Did you email them? Did you Twitter DM them?
I mean, yeah, it
how
kind of
did you get in
varied.
contact with those
It
coaches?
kind of varied school to school. But like some I would see at camps. So then I like talk to the coach there and get like their number, contact
And did you
information.
go to those schools' camps, or did you go to like a PG showcase or a
Yeah,
PBR
so
show?
for the most part, it was bigger like showcases, and then I'd have like if you're familiar with field level,
Yep.
I had an account over there, and then so I kind of like follow or schools would follow me or like reach out to them through that, and also like through email, through text, it kind of varied,
Yeah.
but yeah, for the most part, it would be like we reach out through that, set up a call, have a call, and just kind of learn more about like their obviously school, but also their baseball program.
And I
Um,
laugh like talking through this because I went through like every phase
yeah,
with you and the questions that you would ask me. And I remember I would talk to a coach about you and I'd be like, hey man, like, what do you think about this school? And you'd be like, no, I mean, I definitely want to keep my options open, which basically was, yeah, bro, I don't want to go there.
right, yeah,
So it was cool for you, I feel like MIT was always kind of in the back of your mind, but you didn't want to get your hopes up to
right,
now we're sitting here in an MIT shirt and going there in a few
for
weeks. So
sure.
when do you actually leave?
It's pretty late compared to most schools. We leave August 27th.
Okay,
And
cool.
so then we have a week at like the following week is kind of a move-in week. Um, and then so that's like the first week of September, and then the following like Monday or Tuesdays
Gotcha.
classes start.
So what was that interview process like, or that application process like to
Right.
get into MIT?
I'd say it was pretty tough.
Was it extensive?
Yeah, very extensive.
So give us like
for sure.
the first, hey, interview with MIT, whatever that first step is,
Yep.
to you finding out you're going to MIT.
Right.
What did that whole process look like?
So I mean, before I ever applied, it was reaching out to the coach on field level, and I believe well, it was actually before I went to their camp, I believe, or maybe after. I kind of forget the timeline of that,
Yeah.
but anyway, I ended up going to like the baseball camp in August, which was like right when school started. I had like them on my radar for like applying
Yeah.
to the school as well, but I hadn't submitted any applications yet. So I went to the camp in August, got back from that. I want to say it was like a week or two later. Coach Morris had reached out like on field level, and wanted to like because well I'd already reached out to him, but he
Yeah.
reached back
Yeah,
out,
yeah.
and so we wanted to set up like a time to talk. But that was kind of at this time. This is kind of when I was starting the actual application process, and that was
Gotcha.
pretty extensive. So there's a platform called Common App where you apply to like most colleges,
Okay.
and that's where you kind of have like a common essay that goes out to all of them.
Okay.
But MIT,
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's it makes it a lot easier.
I was never smart enough to
Right.
have these conversations.
But yeah, but the thing is, MIT doesn't do Common App, so it was even
So it's like their
separate.
own thing.
Yeah, exactly. But I think it was good because I got
They're
to-
just like,
well,
it's
yeah,
that,
of course.
Yeah.
I get it. But no, so it was actually separate, and I think that made it a little bit easier to kind of make everything unique to like that application and for MIT. So I think it was good because I got to talk about, what really made me want to be in that environment. It's like so diverse. You're having international students come in and all that stuff. So it was really cool too. I mean, it was very extensive. A lot of essays.
So you sent the initial application.
Right.
What happened after that?
So I sent the initial application and I kind of contacted Coach Morris, but also seeing like some stuff online that most applicants get interview at some point. And I have a friend, Connor Presti, who also got in.
Nice. Congrats. Connor.
Well, he's going to Notre Dame.
Oh, well, never mind.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
what are we doing?
It's still congrats. For real. I love to see him there with me, but I'm glad he's going where he's going. But anyway, I'd been talking to him through a lot of it. He kind of awesome. It kind of helped me understand a lot of like the process. But after the initial application, we had time for an interview, and that's what there's like a regional interviewer, and so then I went and had my interview.
Was that in person?
Yes, it was.
Okay.
And so that was like I had even at Fort Mitchell. It was awesome. We had really big coffee. Yeah, it was a great interview. And I love speaking to an alumni who had been through that same experience. So.
Was it a very like that interview?
Yep.
Was it very like a job interview, or was it like a get to know?
No,
you
it was more get to know you, and that's what I appreciate. I was like super nervous going into it, of course.
I can imagine.
Yeah, because I mean, like that kind of thing, it can make or break it. It's like it's not gonna get you in, but it can definitely get you, out of, like the people they're looking for. So it was a little bit nerve wracking, but it was awesome, and I love like I said, getting to know an alumni who'd been through the same kind of student athlete process.
So you had that interview,
right?
And then
that was in probably November, like mid-November, early November.
Okay.
And then there was very little word after that until it was I think December 14th or December 24th.
So you went like a month.
So I was like a month with like very little, and I was like
in your head were you like
that's the whole time. I'm like, you can always hope, and like interview helps, make it feel like got a good chance. But I mean, like I said, like the 4% acceptance, you just can't ever like bank on that. So
they call you back in December,
right?
And then what did they say?
Well, it wasn't a call. It was just like their
Okay.
It was like because I had applied to early action for the school, and then it was like I said, December 14th, December 24th. We finally got like a decision had opened up, and like my parents kind of went and gathered downstairs, and I even got it on like recording to show the rest of my family later. But it was just like this surreal moment, kind of finding out.
So it was in December. That's when you thought like, hey, you're in.
Right.
And I remember, I can't believe that was 7 months ago. That's crazy. But I remember really where I was standing because you texted me and you said, hey, you got a minute?
Right.
And then you called me. And I was on my Blackstone making like I remember exactly where I was.
Really?
I was fired up, bro. And you called me, and then I went inside and I told my wife, I was like, hey, Sawyer Carlisle? Like I did a video on him not that long ago. Like, because I drop all your guys' names.
Yeah.
And I was like, yeah, you got an MIT. And she was like, oh, nice. And I was like, do you not understand? Like it's MIT, so I had to like educate her on.
I appreciate it
on MIT.
But no, I was and then that's
it's sick, man. So I feel like that whole application process there's probably a lot of anxiety that goes into that because you want it so bad,
right?
But you also don't want to get your hopes up,
for sure,
and crush yourself,
yeah.
But no, that's huge, man. And I think I don't think you had to do anything special during that interview process because I think you just had to kind of be yourself.
I appreciate it.
And when you do. Anybody who knows you or talks to you, that's why you were on the news. That's why they did a story on you. You carry yourself like like not an 18-year-old.
Right.
I mean, you're very smart. And I would say sometimes that's the biggest thing you have against you, at least in baseball, is you're very smart. And I like when I would be training you sometimes, I'd be telling you something, but I can already tell you already know what I'm about to say. So you start doing it and I'm like, dude, stop. Like we need to stop thinking for like 2 seconds.
Right.
So you leave August 27th. You're off to MIT.
Yes, sir.
And you're studying. What are you studying?
Well, so we don't choose a major until after the until after our freshman year. But in our application, we said like what we were interested in, like why. So I wrote about electrical engineering. It's electrical engineering with computing is like the official major. It's major 6.5.
And is that what you want to do? So like post grad.
Right.
Perfect world. Sawyer Carlisle gets everything he wants after college. What are you doing?
So
is it pro ball? or is it engineering?
So I
And
like to go as far as I can
yep.
with baseball, but at the same time, like you know, I have like I'd like to eventually have my own company relating with like electrical engineering to where I'm like kind of like product design type thing.
Okay.
And so through my internship, I got connected with a student from Rose Holman,
Okay.
who he's in, I believe, San Francisco right now, and he's like working with Meta on he's doing product design for their like Oculus. And
Oh,
like
that's
their
really
VR,
cool.
yeah, so,
That's
or
sick.
their yeah, Meta Quest or whatever.
So you want to
Um,
innovate.
yeah, exactly. So
You want
yeah,
to
that's what I
innovate.
want to do. I've always loved like Legos and building like my own creative stuff. Well, like I get like the sets and like I'd build my own kind of
Do you
like
have like a
thing.
crazy Lego thing,
Um,
like a bunch of them at
no,
your
so like
house?
I was when I was younger, but then like I kind of fell out of it because like it cost a
They started getting too
lot.
hard.
Yeah,
Is that
yeah,
why?
it was hard and like yeah. So I mean, I liked him when I was younger, and that's like a very typical thing, stereotypical thing for engineers to be like all in the
Oh yeah,
Legos. You know, I know a lot of
100%.
guys who are.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I never got like too far into that. But anyway, um,
Yeah, I'm excited to see what happens to you
right,
as you get into college and what baseball is going to look like
for
and how
sure,
you keep developing in both aspects.
right,
You know what I mean? Not just your brain, but in
yeah,
engineering,
of
but
course.
also baseball.
Yeah, that's what.
Um,
Well, sorry, I was talking. I just want to finish
no,
that
you're good.
thought.
Go, 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 go.
Yeah,
You're good.
yeah. But no. So yeah, I think I'd like to innovate. But like I said, I want to take baseball like as far as I can. And whichever one ends up coming first. But I just gonna work as hard as I can in both of those things.
And
And I'm excited for
it's
what that looks like.
and you took again like in I would say in 6 months you went from like a mid 80s kid to like a low 90s guy.
Right.
That doesn't just happen based off of luck. And it happened so fast. So
Right.
what I'm trying to get at is there's more projection. Like
Sure.
you're a projectable arm. And I don't know what your ceiling is, but I think that because again, you just started tapping into things so early.
Right.
Or I'm sorry, so
Yeah.
late in your
Yeah.
high
Yeah.
school year. You got good like really late. Not saying you were bad before, but
Yeah.
like you went down a path of like elite pitcher, top
Right.
pitcher in Kentucky very later on.
Yeah.
So I'm curious what's going to happen to you in the fall, or
Sure.
like all through your, and it's just a 4 year program.
Yep. Yep.
So
Yep.
at 4 years at MIT.
For sure.
And are you going as just a pitcher, or are you gonna be a two way?
So like it wasn't like super clear, and I think that's like understandable. It's a really small program compared to a lot of D3s. Like a
Hmm.
lot of guys, I mean, there's obviously no roster limit for D3, so a lot of them, a lot of the colleges that I spoke to end up carrying like 40 to 45,
Okay.
which it's a lot of kids.
Yeah.
But at MIT, because like they can't really like get many kids in for baseball, like they can't force them into the school. It ends up being more like I think this year they had 27 or 28 kids.
Okay.
And so there ends up being a lot more two ways. And so I think, of course, if possible, I'd love to keep being a two way as long as possible.
Yeah.
But I'm kind of like definitely I think I stood out because of my arm.
Hmm.
And like a lot of the camps, that's kind of why like I was going through numbers with a school, and it was like pretty like nothing so too much out except like from the outfield I had like a pull down of 95 or something
Yeah.
like that.
Yeah.
And so that's where like I think wherever my arm can be most helpful is kind of where I'll be for
You just want to stay in the game.
yeah, exactly, yeah. And that's what like so I mean, I've been in right field, second base, third base, pitching.
You're a utility guy. You
Yeah,
want to be
yeah,
on the field. You want the ball. You
exactly.
don't care if you're swinging or
But yeah,
pitching.
no, that's
Yeah.
kind of like been my approach all through high school,
That's
and that's
awesome.
like also kind of what
That's a
I've
coach's
presented.
dream.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
That's what I've presented to all college coaches, and so that's what with Coach Morris. It's kind of whatever can help us most. And so I hope that's pitching. I hope that's in the field. I hope that's at the plate.
Yeah.
But I mean that's kind of be decided.
Yeah.
But yeah,
No, that's awesome. So for any kid who aspires to go to MIT
yep,
or any Ivy League or any high academic school, and also be an athlete,
sure.
what would you tell them? What would
It's
you
a good question.
tell 13-year-old Sawyer Carlisle who has this dream of playing college baseball at MIT?
Right. So I actually I've kind of had these conversations with like some young people before. I have a cousin, he's 3 years younger than me, and I don't think he necessarily is like looking at the same kind of schools himself. He plays football, so he's going to be a student athlete as well if he decides to go to college. But it's like there were so many things I wish I knew earlier in high school because like yeah, I kind of realized that like
What were some of those things?
yeah. So, like kids who want to go to MIT or Ivy League or Stanford or whatever it is, they are like working on their not even just college application, but their projects that they want to present to those colleges like so early, like freshman year. And it's not even just like they're doing it for that college; they're doing it for like their own passion, and that's like a lot of people call it passion projects, but like a lot of times that there it's not as like much of a passion. It's more for the college. But so I'd say the first thing is you need high enough like standardized test scores like ACT, SAT to at least get looked at, like get in the door.
What was that baseline for MIT?
Probably 34 is the lowest, but I had like a
That's
35.
crazy.
Yeah. But I mean, like, of course, there's like some that are lower. I think the lowest they've gone down to like a 31 or 32.
Okay.
But I mean,
Simpletons at 31 and 32.
right?
Yeah. Sorry, keep going.
No, for sure. So I think those kind of standardized test scores get your foot in the door at least, because the coach knows that like this kid has a chance to at least get in the school.
Yeah.
And so from that point on, it's kind of past like those test scores. Obviously, you have to have straight A's no matter what. Like any of those top probably 20 schools, you need all A's. But there's also like you're taking hard classes, and you're taking hard classes in the subjects that you care about. Like I love
Really cool.
calculus and learning about like kind of
I love
change.
calculus. It's never something I've ever said or will say in my life. But I'm sorry.
I know it's all right. I'm a big fan of it. And it's cool to kind of see how like that stuff works in real life. For like example, my calculus 3 classes past year, we were looking at like how to figure out how much electricity is flowing through a wire, how much water's flowing through a fish net.
So it's like it's
that.
very like realistic.
Yeah, exactly. And that's what I love about it. But anyway, so like I took a lot of hard classes in calculus and in like differential equations that relate to them. So I'd say good grades in the hard classes that you care about.
Okay.
But then past that, it's just doing stuff that you're passionate about outside of school.
Yeah.
And I was really passionate about like the Fort Mitchell community. It's really cool. I moved into it at 7th grade. I went to Beechwood in 7th grade and moved into it like my freshman year. And so I really cared about the fact that it was a really small community that cared about each other so much. And so I was constantly doing things for like Tiger Ambassadors, service projects, and I had like a mental wellness day that I worked with like a small group to put on for the whole school. So just doing kind of like small things like that you care about is what the colleges want to see, because they know that you're going to come in their school and their community and be, a good member. And kind of keep carrying on that passion that you have for whatever it is. So I'd say it's good test scores, good grades, and doing things that you care about are probably the big 3.
And it's almost like anything else. It's if you figure out what you're good at and you love it, and then go all in on it. And that's exactly why I'm here, and that's why a lot of the other people are here. We could be doing a lot of other things, but this is what I really like doing. And I hope I'm good at it. I think I'm.
I think you are.
I think I'm terrible at it.
You've been great.
It's just like anything else, man. And it's really cool to see you figure that out at such a young age. And your family is probably extremely proud.
For sure.
So shout out mom and dad raising a good kid.
Yes, sir.
I have a 2.5-year-old, and I'm trying to figure it out myself. I have no idea what I'm doing. But we appreciate you being here.
Yes, sir.
It's going to be fun to watch you. I'm going to keep in contact with you.
Absolutely.
When you are home for Thanksgiving and Christmas or whatever it is, come in here and say what's up.
I'll be around.
And you call me, text me anytime. But I can help you from the baseball side, not the school side. I can't help you from the school side.
Hey, help me do my homework?
Yeah, absolutely not.
All right.
I can't comprehend any of that. But we appreciate you, man, and
Yes, sir.
excited to see you grow.
Thank you very much.